If Colorado River were a company, it would be the number 155 on the Fortune 500 index.
Our business wouldn't exist without it. It's pretty basic.
It would be the 19th largest employer on the list.
My job, especially, is completely and totally dependent on the environment.
Hundreds of thousands of jobs depend directly on the Colorado River.
Protect the Flows is a coalition of over 1,000 businesses that support the Colorado River, ranging from Fortune 500 companies to major outdoor brands to Main Street retailers. These companies recognize the quality of life, community, and economic values that a healthy and flowing river system like the Colorado River can add to the West. We know that the Colorado River is challenged. A decade of persistent drought and low snowpacks have left storage across the system at record low levels. We know that healthy and flowing rivers contribute significantly to the quality of life and the economy in the 7 basin states. Healthy rivers allow us to attract new businesses, new employees, and outdoor enthusiasts. Recently, Secretary of the Interior Sally Jewell gave her first major speech on conservation and spoke about the Colorado River, affirming that first, we must make every drop count. Second, we must use water more sustainably. And third, that there's much to be done to use water more efficiently. Jewell's own agency and representatives from the 7 basin states recently completed the Colorado River Basin Study. The study contained good news and bad news. The bad news is that demand now exceeds supply on the Colorado River. According to the study, by 2060, we may be as much as 3 million acre-feet short on an annual basis. The good news? The study outlined well over 3 million acre-feet in annual savings through more efficient use. How do we get to 3 million acre-feet? By making every drop count. And American industry, American business leaders are stepping up. They recognize that it makes sense to cut waste, to cut costs, and to protect the natural resources that make the West the place we want to live and work. That is why Protect the Flows created the Business of Water, bringing industry leaders together for a dialogue on water sustainability.
Water shaped the West. It literally carved Colorado from the red rock that we know in the western part of the state, and it shaped landmarks from our highest peaks to one of my favorite places in the whole world, which is the Gulf of California.
How do we value and protect what nature gives us freely, but that our businesses and our lives depend upon? So I was just struck how industry, I believe, is aggressively facing and confronting our water shortage issues, even where our politicians and our regulators are not.
Ultimately, though, the first best step for us, for the plants, is to reduce our water use. If we have less debit, we don't need as much credit. So the first thing that we are focused on, and that we were focused on even before this initiative came underway, is how do we get as efficient as we can in the plant?
You're the business community, and you have a key voice in this conversation going forward. Conservation and going green can save some green. And you know that if we do water conservation right, it saves money that can be reinvested in your business and then ripples out into the broader economy. So it's clear that the actions you take today and the ways in which you innovate and develop a new technology to conserve water will play an important role in the future.
In 2005, we found a new technology that could listen for leaks, and this is deployed in your meter pits or on your house. And every night at between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. it wakes up and listens for leaks.
I think that there's a lot of opportunity for technology to be a part of the solution. And we've seen on the energy side, Smart Grid, looking at how we use energy collectively and making our energy use more efficient has been very successful. And we can look at that on a city scale. And I think similarly, we should start looking at that for water infrastructure.
The City of Melbourne's population of 4.1 million came perilously close to running out of water. And basically what we did was we raised the delivery efficiency, so the water that was measured coming onto farms relative to the water extracted from the dams and rivers, we raised that from 65% up to 85%, and effectively recovered more than half of the losses in that network and recovered an amount of water equivalent to Melbourne's annual water consumption.
We are very thoughtful and deliberate And the fact is that we know that for every kilowatt hour that we reduce in the Las Vegas area, we reduce a half a gallon of water use upstream.
I think that we have the opportunity to take the message further from the person who you would expect to care about it. So it's not, the soy milk consumer, with tie-dye in their closet. It's really broadening the reach and really trying to understand the American consumer and the different drivers and connect with the different drivers.
We have been able to really find a way to profitably go after improving our use of this very precious resource. And increasingly, we see it as a business opportunity that's aiding our top line, our bottom line now, and also into the future.
By protecting our natural resources, we fuel tourism and recreation, and we provide jobs that sustain our communities. And this isn't just a talking point. The Outdoor Industry Association estimates that the outdoor recreation industry generates $646 billion in national consumer spending each year. It supports 6.1 million direct jobs, not to mention the billions in state and local tax revenues. The numbers underscore that conserving the great outdoors is a long-term investment in jobs that can't be outsourced.
It's important for us, not just as a stewardship, but from a business. Who wants to go to the Grand Canyon if there's no water? So just to think about from the business of that. So we reserve over 300,000 room nights in the Colorado watershed every year. And we take it very seriously.
There are a lot of businesses that very much depend on the Colorado River being there. Whether you're directly involved with the river, if you're a river runner, or you own a hotel, you own a restaurant, it's all interconnected. And it's not just an environmental issue, it's a business issue.
We know that we need to get to work, and we know that through conservation and water efficiencies, we can save enough water to put the Colorado River on the path to recovery.
We do have time and we've got energy, as demonstrated by all of you here in this room, to reverse this trend. And the bottom line is that underlying all of our efforts, we've got to focus on making every drop count.